What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, man, this is All Truth, No Chaser. I am your host, Larry S. White II, and I just want to talk. So let's just get into it. So listen, I was talking with my son about the Navy because I served for over 10 years in the Navy, and I was mentioning to him because he made a comment about wanting to be a doctor, and I was like, "Well, look, bro, if you go into service, you don't gotta pay no money. You just pay back the time of your education. So if you do 4 years education, you owe 4 years service. If you do 8 years, you owe eight. That type of thing." And he was like, "Nah, I don't want to go to war." And I was like, why would you go to war? Like, where you get that from? But and that led me down this pathway of misunderstanding about what exactly the service is. Now, each branch offers something different. But to stay focused on what I know, because I'm a Navy man, so I can't speak on behalf of the Army, the Marine Corps. I don't even know what a Space Force is, but I would tag them right up there with like the Coast Guard, but that's a military diss. Don't come for us. But here's the thing, man. So for myself, I was a good student. No, I wasn't. I like this. I was a good student, like in college. I was a good student. I was just a pro. Um, I was just a pro athlete. Like I just wanted to play sports. I wanted to run track. I wanted to play football. That's all I wanted to do. That was my reason for getting up to going to school. That was my reason for passing my classes. I was never like in jeopardy. Like I ain't never make no F's or nothing like that. That was never me. But because I didn't have the type of support system that was pushing me to do more. Like when I took my SAT, bro, like I didn't even know I needed to do it. Like just not understanding what it meant if I wanted to be a college athlete and the pathway to achieve that. I didn't have anybody talking to me, no counselor looking out for me, none of that. So the reason why I went into the military was nothing spectacular. Why I joined the Navy was nothing spectacular. It was just end up having this card. Everybody else had these options of going to college. I didn't even know how to go about applying for college. And so I ended up calling this recruiter. And as I was talking to the recruiter, I was like, look, I want a job where, I don't get my nails dirty and I work in the air conditioning. And this is where ignorance is bliss. And he was like, yo, you could just be a seaman. And I was like, I don't know what that means. But if that means I'm going to be like a pirate at sea all the time, I ain't with that either. Right? But it's just ignorance is bliss because if I didn't have that position, the job I would have took in the Navy would have been terrible. Okay? And he also told me that I could continue to play football and I could run track and I could continue to do my sports while serving my country. Air quotes on serving the country. And I was like, well, that's what's up. Let's do it. And so, like, it was really great for me, man. Like, I did 10 years, 6 months, 27 days. And I want to talk about, like, some of the benefits of it. First and foremost, you get free medical. You get free dental. That's free. Like, you just go to the doctor, they get you righteous. Like, when you go to boot camp, when you get into boot camp, bro, like, you in a dentist and they fixing your teeth. You know what I'm saying? What's up?
I gotta ask you, bro. I gotta ask you. You said you did how much time?
10 years, 6 months, 27 days.
Now, if this is the clip that we're about to put out, they gonna say, did he do jail time? Because you break it down like jail time. Does it feel like jail when you
No. So on my DD 214, right? Your DD 214 is the piece of paper you get that says that you served. It says what awards you got. It lets you know, like, it's your whole. It's like it's your whole history of service, and you need that because that tells you if you got an honorable discharge, dishonorable discharge, like that type of information.
But do everybody actually remembers how much? I mean, is that a badge of honor to remember how much time you put in?
You know what it is, man? I think I saw it, and I was like, man, 10 years, 6 months, 27 days. Well, maybe if I just do a couple more days, I could just be 10 years, 7 months. it just stood out to me. Like, but you know what? Like, I remember, like, I know my driver's license number. I know my passport number. I had this fear that if I ever got, like, kidnapped or lost something and I was in a foreign country and I had to prove I was an American citizen, I can give them my passport number, my driver's license number. Like, that's just my thing.
But do you remember your parents' phone number?
When we had rotary dials, I still remember them numbers. But I don't know my kid's cell phone number. I know my wife's phone number and my mom's phone number. I don't remember birthdays. Apple does, though. So everything's on the calendar.
So you was about to go to boot camp.
Yeah, so I get to boot camp. They tell me I got cavities. And I'm like, I ain't never had cavities, but I can say that because my dad wouldn't take me to the dentist anyway. So I didn't even know if I did have cavities, I wouldn't have known it. You get like every vaccine imaginable. Look. Here's what's important. What important is this? My education was paid for. Not only was my education paid for, I got paid to go to school. So they pay for you, they pay for your classes. You get the money to pay for your books, and then you get money to put in your pocket, which they call BAH, which is Basic Housing Allowance, and that changes depending on your state. But I don't pay for nothing.
Did the recruiter tell you this in the beginning?
Nah, like the recruiters, man, their job.
What can the recruiters tell you actually?
They tell you the truth to get you in, but they not lying. But they can glorify certain things to fill those numbers. They got to do their job.
Let me ask you. I've never been to. I'm a button pusher, right? I never
Button pusher.
I never been to the military. But bro, one thing I could say I've never seen is I've never seen a recruiter do any kind of public speaking on what they do and talk about the recruitment process. Is that?
No, they're not allowed to do that actually. So if you are recruiters are not allowed to go on public platforms to talk about their story. However, they can tell their story to individuals. Like, so if a recruiter comes, talks to you, and you ask them about their experience, what they've been through, they can tell you that. But can they come on AT&C? Can they come into Grand Imaging and have a conversation about what they do? They can't do that. They have to get approval from public affairs for that. And that's a whole lot of paperwork. Ain't nobody got time for that. But I think it's important because people need to consider it. You need to consider joining the military, especially if you don't know what you're trying to do with your life. A lot of times, man, people graduate from high school. They're not going to a trade school. They have no direction. They still staying at their mommy and daddy house, or some of them might even be homeless, or whatever your circumstance is. You got a baby, whatever your circumstance is, and then when people mention the military, they just shun it and say no. Unbeknownst to them that this could be a pathway to start your life. You don't have insurance. You don't got nothing. And at least if you go into the military and you give them 4 years, and all you got to do is get up on time, iron your uniform, make your bed, take a bath. If you can do those, you can do 4 years. If you can work at McDonald's, look, you work at McDonald's, what you get? What you get?
Brother, 3 hots in a cot. That's what this sounds like. Okay. So
3 hots in a cot. But you know what? If you got 3 hots in a cot, not only do you have 3 hots in a cot, you got medical insurance, you got dental insurance, you got benefits for college and education. You're gonna walk away with a trade. If you like computers, you're gonna walk away with the amount of money that you would spend as a civilian to get qualifications you got for free. Free 99. And you're doing the exact same thing that you had to do when you went to school. You get up on time. If you catch the bus, you got to catch the bus on time. Did you take a bath? I hope you took a bath, because if you didn't take a bath, people are going to rag on you. People going to rag on you over here if you didn't take a bath.
Okay, so I can see the thumbnail on this episode this is why you should join the military, right?
Yeah.
All right, but so are you saying right here on the show that you advocate that if you don't know what you want to do to life, join the military? This is what you actually saying?
Man, of course. Like, look, you just have to pick the right branch that fits something that you might want to do. Listen, the idea that if you join the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Army, the Air Force equates to you going to war, that's just not true. They have dentists in the military. They have male people that work in the military. They have secretaries in the military. This job right here, bro, what you do, you could do that exact same job in the military. But you know what's different? I don't know what your medical and dental insurance look like. I know you got your lady. They cover too. Your kids cover too. You know what else? If you don't go to school and you did 4 years and you did not use your GI Bill, your post 9/11, you can get that to your kids. If you join the military in the state of Texas, your children gets free tuition to any public school in the state.
Okay. We're living in a Gen Z era.
I don't want to go to school and be a social media star. Let me make TikTok videos.
That's what I was alluding to. No, serious point right here. And I think you just kind of opened my eyes to that. When we think of military, and you actually did the military, right? When we think of military, we think, I got to go fight in the war.
Yeah, that's not true. Okay, so if I'm a dentist, what am I doing on the front lines? If I'm in medical, right, and I work in the ER, they have some people that are corpsmen that do go to the front lines with the Marines and whatnot, but that's a job they chose.
Who are those people that, if you go into the military, you're going to go fight in the war? Name those people?
You know what? If you play Call of Duty, you know who they are. The infantry, special forces. Like, if you play Call of Duty, if you play any war game, you know who they are. You pick that job. Hear me. You pick a job. You're going to take the ASVAB. Now, mind you, some things are different, bro. When I went in, it was 1999. But certain things are still the same. You're going to take the ASVAB. And now the Navy changed it to where you don't even have to have a high school diploma. Just go take the ASVAB, and what you score on that ASVAB is going to dictate what kind of job you can get. So if you get whatever that score is, listen, this is what I remember about the ASVAB. I thought I failed it because it was asking me about like tools, flathead, screwdriver, wrenches. Look, if I have to work on your car, that car going nowhere. So I was like, man, all these questions, I figured I failed it. And clearly I didn't, because I got a great job working with radars and doing navigation. I love what I did. Did that transfer as a civilian easily? No. But media, computers, technology, IT, those are all the qualifications that you need for that job. You can do those jobs in the service and not have to actually pay for that stuff.
Can we play a game called Pros and Cons real quick?
Yeah. What's some pros?
Yeah, you giving us the pros. You said dental, and yeah, but every night couldn't have been an amazing night in the Navy, bro.
No, I'm not saying don't get that at all. Here's what I can tell you. You're gonna deal with knuckleheads no matter the profession. You're gonna have bosses that you don't like. You're gonna have bosses in the military you don't like. You're gonna have bosses you do like. You're dealing with human beings. And you're gonna be at one command for 3 to 4 years, and then you can leave. So it's not like if you got those people that work at the McDonald's, the dental tech school, or the barbershop, they stay there 10, 15 years. No, you always are rotating and moving around. So is everything going to be great? It could depend on your leadership. I mean, you're dealing with people. Don't confuse like when a person say they don't like their job, you have to ask the next question. Do you not like the job, or do you not like the people you're working for or working with? At least in service, you might be having to go through some hell for 3 to 4 years, because somebody gonna leave. Somebody gonna leave eventually. And you gonna leave too. Whether you leave to get out or you leave to go somewhere else. I lived in Japan. Loved it.
That's another pro that you got a chance to go see some of the world. But is it anything? Like, I mean, when you started this, you told us exactly how much time you put in.
Yeah.
Is it anything like jail? Is there cliques? Is there gangs? Or anybody getting jumped in? Or are they fighting on the yard? Let us know. This is All Truth, No Chaser, right?
You know what, man? It's perspective, bro. No, there's no jails. There's standards. So if you here it is. Like, so let's say you get a DWI. You might get kicked out.
No, talk to me about behind the scenes. There's no fighting going on.
Of course.
Are there relationships going on?
Of course. Of course. I mean, I was married when I got in service. I mean, they have standards. Like, you shouldn't. Officers are not supposed to be in relationship with enlisted people. Almost like if you think about your teacher's not supposed to sleep with the student, like that type of thing. Especially when they're new. But does that happen? Of course it happens. We're dealing with people. Are there standards and barriers in place to kind of enforce certain ideas and roles that we're supposed to travel? Yeah.
I wonder what the percent is of people getting married that's both been in, you know what I mean,
Bro,
or people hooking up or just hook up.
It's hella high. I mean, because so if you want to make more money, because you don't get paid, the military doesn't pay you a lot because it gives you a lot. So fiscally, it doesn't pay a lot because it gives a lot. Now, if you're trying to be one of those that get more money, then what they end up doing is they end up liking this girl for a week, and they're going to go ahead and marry this girl, and the girl is going to agree to get married so they can get some more money, and then they have a kid because they can get dependent pay, da-da-da. Now, people go about doing things for the wrong reasons. However, people go about doing things for the wrong reasons, not in the military too. We dealing with people. It's perspectives that we got to look at. It's perspectives. That's why you got people that do 20 years. If they do 20 years, you're talking about getting a paycheck for the rest of their life.
In between branches, are they cliques? Like, yo, we don't mess with the Southside Marines.
You know what, man? Like, so
we see it in the movies, bro.
Yeah,
we see it in the movies. They show up at the bar. They show up at the bar.
Like my first ship was the Blue Ridge, right? USS Blue Ridge out there in Yokosuka, Japan, and the USS Kitty Hawk, which is now decommissioned. And so we would be in the club, and you had them people that be like, yeah, we ain't dealing with them Kitty Hawk, and we Blue Ridge over here, cuz. But like, bro, we in Japan. Like, what you doing? This ain't Houston. This ain't New York. This ain't Compton. This ain't Florida. This ain't Miami. This ain't none of that. We in Japan. Like, how you a tough guy? You the tough guy in Japan throwing up gang signs? Like, where they do that at? Adolescents.
Okay. This is the clip that goes viral. I want to hear it from you. I want to hear from you. All truth, no chaser. Rank the branches from the tough guys to the.
Oh, that's easy.
You know where I'm going.
It's easy. Marine Corps, Navy, because we are one. Army.
Be all you can be.
Boo.
Isn't that the commercial?
I think so. It's trash. Hey, but for you service members, you get it, right? And then it would be the Coast Guard or the Air Force and the Coast Guard. But nobody, they don't do nothing.
Do the Air Force, are they really doing the dog fighting, or is that Marine? Who's in the plane fighting? Because I always thought I wanted to find out.
United States Navy.
The Navy is not just the water?
You watch Top Gun? Tom Cruise, Top Gun? That's the United States Navy, bro. Like the people that's about that life, the Marine Corps and the Navy. We about that life. Does the Air Force have their place? Yes. Does the Army have their place? Yes. Does the Coast Guard have that place? Yeah, they do. But I'm a Navy man, and I'm going to tell you what it is. If you don't believe me, watch Top Gun. 1 or 2. Great movies.
Saving Private Ryan. Who are those guys?
Army, Marine Corps.
Full Metal Jacket. Who are those guys?
Same.
Platoon?
Same. Marine Corps.
Iron Eagle.
Marine Corps. And look, and here's what you got to understand. This is how it works out. Army come in, the Navy come in, we set it off. The Marine Corps come in, they clean it up. Then they might sprinkle in little Army dudes in there to kind of get the help. Then the Air Force will come in there after everything is safe. They'll get us a McDonald's and a Burger King, Popeyes, build us an airstrip. Not even us. We don't even get to stay there. You feel me? But, well, I'm talking a lot of trash. But it's all from a place of love. It's just, I really think it's important that even if you do know what you want out of life, there is nothing dope about debt. Let's be clear. For people that's out here, they racking up all this debt for whatever reason, because they want to start a business, they racking up a lot of debt. They want to get their education, they racking up a lot of debt. You want to flex on people, so you're racking up a lot of debt. But you're not taking care of yourself mentally, you're not taking care of yourself physically, and you don't have a direction. Does the military give you direction? No. I believe that you should always be moving forward. You should be like water, man. Water is great when it's always moving forward. Water is bad when it's stagnant. Stagnant water creates disease and all kind of whatnot. It's not going nowhere. If you're always moving forward, so if you don't know what you want to do, if you don't have a clear plan, even if you do, the question is, what are you going to do? How are you going to pay for it? Always. What are you going to do? How are you going to pay for it? You want to go to school? What are you going to do? How are you going to pay for it? Is the answer debt? If the answer is I'm going to incur debt and I'm going to do a job, especially in today's society, you're going to go to school, you're going to pay. My daughter's in college right now, bro. This is ridiculous. You're going to pay $60,000 to $100,000 for a degree. $40,000 to $100,000, depending on the degree. That's just what it is. And when I say that, that's room and board, that's books, that's the classes, that's food, that's cafeteria, all that, right? $40,000 to $100,000, depending on the degree. But then you get a job that's going to pay you $30,000. Now you in debt. You in debt, and that debt goes, it's on your credit. Now you realize that I can't buy a car, I can't get an apartment, I can't do these things because of my student loan debt. Well, you could have avoided all of that if you just made a different choice, a different option. So what I'm saying is you should consider, especially like if you get accepted to a school, all of those campuses have a ROTC. They have those options. Just go and ask, because it's quite possible that the very thing that you want to get your degree in, you can go do that and have somebody else pay for it and get the necessary training that you got to get to do that job on somebody else's dime. You'll get the opportunity to live in other parts of the world, if that's what you want. Like, this is crazy. Don't allow your family be the reason why you don't experience nothing. Because your mom and your dad, whether or not, if you got a relationship with them or not, your parents got their experience, their life. You should experience yours too. From a position that's beneficial, not out there to be toxic. You dig? That makes sense? Producer man, that makes sense? Am I talking sense?
You've been talking good all day. I think for a lot of us, at least for me, when I see this episode, the one thing that I know I took from this is, man, I can go to the military and I don't have to go fight, because I think that's the biggest stereotype or misconception that y'all have to deal with. That now, I gotta ask you this, man. They say stuff like the draft. I don't think it's been a draft.
Nah, we don't do that no more. Like,
is there anything that would ever make them implement that again?
I would imagine if we had to do a draft, things would be so bad. Like, they were doing a draft, World War I, World War II, Vietnam. Like on a world war.
Meaning like the bodies wouldn't want to show up for it? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, like they don't got enough bodies.
Okay, so that goes back to my point. So we're talking about like Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
And you just said it yourself. Gen Z want to be what?
Listen, I would say this, right? I was reading in the New York Times a while back where they were talking about the kids today are they're having some issues filling jobs, or getting the numbers, right? The numbers for people joining at least in the Navy, because all they want to do is play video games. You have a large population of kids who live sedentary lives, not active lives. When we were coming up, we played the sports, we in the streets, we riding our bikes, we outside. That's necessarily not the story holistically for the population today of people who will go and join. So they're having these issues where you have these kids who go to a boot camp and they can't survive the boot camp because they don't play outside. Boot camp ain't hard.
Okay, so if they don't, you said a few minutes ago, if it got so bad, if it got
so, like, And
But this generation they don't
when I
want to
say
go. They
so
don't,
bad, when I say so bad, I'm talking like there's World War III on deck.
and you don't have enough bodies because this generation and the next generation also, they're going to be just like that. They're not trying to go. They're not trying to go enlist and go to boot camp, basic training.
I think that's why
they don't want to work.
And you know what, man? The Navy has, at least I can say from the Navy and the Marine Corps, have been making a lot of, they've grown a lot in regards to recognizing what people outside of the military or what kids are like to bring them in. So the standard of how we grew up, that standard won't work on these kids.
So it's easier to get into the military.
It's definitely easier, but I would say it's easier, but they haven't made it to where you still have to be a focused person. Like with the Navy sitting there saying that you don't have to have a high school diploma. I think them saying that is because a lot of people are realizing that I don't actually have to go to a college to achieve a goal. I don't have to do that. Or the circumstances have made it to where they don't have to worry about. There are so, I don't know what the numbers are, but I imagine those numbers to be at least 15 to 20% higher of high school dropouts in comparison to when we were in the school in the 90s to what it looks like today in 2024.
I would love to see.
I don't know what that number is though. I'm just saying. I believe so.
I would love to see a graph of, because I'm still stuck on this. What if it's not enough people? Would they ever bring back the draft? I would love to see from the 60s through the 90s the average amount of people enlisting, right?
Yeah.
And then has it been a drop off? In the last 10 or 15 years of people enlisting.
I think it has been a drop off, which is why some of the things have changed. But I don't believe the things that have changed are bad. Like I saw a thing now. They made it to where you can put your hands in your pockets while you're in uniform.
That was a thing?
Yeah, when you're in uniform, you can't put your hands in your pocket. But now
you can't wear a hat in the building. You can't put your hand in your pocket. I'm going to go play YouTube. Like I'm going to go play Call of Duty.
You can't do that. You don't wear your hat.
What's the deal about the hands in the pocket?
I think it's just about professionalism and how you present yourself when you are in uniform. There is a way you're supposed to carry yourself when you are in uniform. Now, exactly which uniform does that fall into? I don't know because I'm not active no more. I just saw that is now a thing. So maybe it's in your battle dress uniform, the camouflage type stuff. Maybe you can have your hands in your pockets in that uniform, but maybe not the dress uniform. I don't know.
And last thing, bro. What traits do you still carry over? Like, when you in certain suits or something, do you carry yourself different, or do you make your bed with bounce the quarter off? I got all the stereotypes, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's legit.
Right? Did they bounce the quarter off the bed and stuff like that?
I would say it like this, man. You have to remember you're dealing with people, right? And so I've always gone. Since I've been in, the one thing that has never dropped off, I still tell time by a 24-hour clock. Why? Because there's 24 hours in a day. So if we know that there's 24 hours in a day, then let's stop pretending like there's only 12. That's me. That's my thing. That's how my family understands. My kids and my family know 1,500, 1,900, 2,300. Like they know what that is because there's 24 hours in a day, son. But that's neither hit. But in what regards would I say where the military had an influence on me? I think I am who I am. Would I be the same person today if it wasn't for the service? I would say no. But that's because of my experiences.
Bro, as the producer of your show, I want to put you on blast. You are a real, and we talked about this off camera, meticulous person. You put your keys in 3 places. Yeah, I put your business out there.
Yeah.
I'm
real meticulous about
Is that
stuff.
military?
No, I don't think so. Because because you're going to work. You're going to work. Like you get up, you come to the studio, right? This is the job you do. But then you leave here, you're still that person. So it just depends on who you are. You are who you are. So it's not like the military makes people into something that they aren't. And it depends on your experience. What kind of experience you have does shape you. The fact that I've been to half the planet, that has shaped me in some regards. But that is what I give to the military, that it has broadened my horizons. But you have to be the type of person that is acceptable to that. You have to be acceptable to coaches, different walks of life, different standards of life, and you take those experiences and you shape them. When people are talking about different cultures in Australia, I can speak on it. Different cultures in Korea, I can speak on it through my experience. What's going on in Hong Kong, I can speak on it through my experience. When I do, Palestine, Israel, and these places of the world where I've been, I can speak on it from my experience of being there with people. People. I want that to be clear. People. It's not people who individuals have bad experiences in the military have bad experiences with people, not because of the military. There's standards. I hope that you guys that listen to AT&C All Truth No Chaser, that you yourself got standards. That's all I'm presenting is another way to incur some standards in your life, and something to consider would be joining the military. So I hope this episode has been beneficial. And this is one thing that I can say. When you want to walk with God, God does require you to be flexible. He asks you to be open. Because if God is going to ask you to do something, 9 times out of 10, he's asking you to do something you don't want to do. So a lot of times we have to be able to educate ourselves and be open to different possibilities. And if you can do that, chances are you won't be lost. Peace.